Good morning. Assalamualaikum. Buenos dias. Maayong buntag sa lahat ng mga nanonood at nakikinig. Una sa lahat, nais po namin ipaabot ang aming taus-pusong pakikiramay sa mga pamilya na mga nasawi at mga nawawala dahil sa pagkalubog ng MV Tricia Kirsten 3. Ngunit hindi po sapat ang pakikiramay. Kung may kapabayaan, pagkukulang o paglabag sa batas, kailangan may managot. Mr. Chair, some years ago, I served as counsel for the victims of the MV Doña Paz tragedy. I saw firsthand how painful and how long the fight for justice can be for grieving families. The MV Doña Paz was the biggest, largest peacetime maritime disaster that ever happened in the world. And because of that, I am deeply familiar with the laws designed to protect sea passengers and the fact that at that time they were not properly enforced, and it would appear that that continues to be the situation today. We have, of course, the Civil Code that states that common carriers are supposed to exercise extraordinary diligence in ensuring safety of passengers. We have Republic Act 9295, which ensures that all domestic vessels must be seaworthy, properly equipped with life-saving and safety equipment, and manned by qualified and licensed crew. Nandyan din po ang Sea Passenger Bill of Rights ng Marina, which guarantees the rights of passengers to proper information, assistance, and protection. These laws already exist, but they can only protect lives if they are followed and enforced. Kaya mahalaga po ang pagdinig na ito. Through this hearing, we hope to bring to light some of the following issues. Was MV Tricia Kirsten 3 seaworthy? Were life-saving equipment sufficient and accessible? Were safety procedures properly conducted before departure? Were our regulatory agencies strict enough in their oversight? May kapabayaan po ba sa rescue? What legislative measures can we adopt to prevent similar incidents, mitigate risks to life and well-being, and enhance the accountability of common carriers in the future? We also note reports of the survivors that they have been asked to sign quitclaims in exchange for assistance. If this is true, it raises serious concerns. Noon pa pong, because of the MV Doña Paz tragedy, after that happened, the courts ruled that quitclaims obtained under distress or unequal conditions cannot override the rights of victims. Mr. Chair, for many Filipinos, sea travel is not a choice. It is the only viable option. When infrastructure is limited, our people depend on inter-island vessels. This makes strict enforcement of safety standards crucial. It has been decades since the MV Doña Paz tragedy. If I may share, nung panahon na yon, ang lumabas ay napakaraming mga pasahero ay wala sa manifest ng ship. Overloaded ang ship. There were waivers and quitclaims that were not properly explained, meaning they were not voluntarily, intelligently given. And according to the relatives and survivors, may kapabayaan ang mga government agencies. There are so many parallels to what is happening today. Kaya nararapat lang po at napapanahon na mag-action na tayo ngayon at ngayon din. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sinabi po ni Secretary Giovanni Lopez sa isang interview na binalita sa Inquirer.net, February 11, 2026, na hindi raw dumaan yung cargo sa weighing bridge sa port. I quote in English, "The rolling cargo did not pass through the weighing bridge at the port." Ang una ko pong tanong ay sa Marina, who is in charge of that weighing bridge at the port?
Go ahead. Who can answer it? Direct question to Marina.
Your Honor, it's PPA po yan.
Okay.
And is the PPA also the one in charge? Meron po bang taga-PPA? Yes.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, to the members. In relation to the quote mentioned by Congressman Jokno, supposedly said by Secretary Lopez, I heard that, and I have since discussed that with Secretary Lopez, and we have corrected the impression that the vessels, that the RoRo vehicles which boarded that the Trisha Kirsten 3 actually went through the weighbridge. And our port operator, which is Global Ports, they have the truck scale receipts to prove that there were actually the vehicles actually passed through the weighbridge for that particular voyage, Mr. Chair.
Question, Mr. Chair, to Attorney Aquino. Salam alaikum. Ano pong masasabi ninyo at yung mga ibang survivors dyan sa bagay na yan na sabi daw ay dumaan sa weight bridge yung mga cargo?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have with me one of the truck drivers po. And he is saying, siya mismo nagsasabi na hindi po tinimbang yung kanyang RoRo. Yes, yung kanyang truck.
May we know if the truck driver is present? Could we ask him to respond?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir.
Sir Chair.
Before kayo magsakay sa barko, sir, walang truck scale, sir. Hindi sila nagta-truck scale.
Pakisabi po yung inyong pangalan, sir.
Ako si Midge Par, sir, isang survivor. Driver ng 10-wheeler na wing van.
At masasabi po ninyo na hindi dumaan sa weigh scale ang mga cargo na nakita nyo.
Good afternoon, Assalamualaikum. Ako si Joseph Lim, truck driver ng JNT. Unit ko is 6-wheeler forward. Ako po yung second to the last sa rampa ng barko. Which yung katanungan is, kung dumaan ba sa scale para magtimbang, wala po. Hindi dumaan.
Yes, go ahead.
What is the purpose of going through the weighing scale? Is it for payment of the port charges or measuring the weight to be able to para mabalanse mo yung cargo mo dun sa ship? Kasi dalawang bagay yan. The port operator, of course, they would want all the cargo go through the weighing scale or the truck scale because of the payment of port dues. Pero for the vessel, it is also important that they will have to check the weight of the trucks in order to determine whether pasok pa ba yan o overloaded na yung barko.
Yes, I think si Mr. J can answer that at PPA.
Mr. Chair, yun pong paggamit ng truck scale sa mga ports natin, ang primary purpose po niyan is to give an estimation to doon po sa loading process kung gaano ba kabigat yung bihikulo na isasakay sa barko. In fact, yun pong paggamit ng truck scale previously, I think prior to 2019, it was privately operated, but in 2019, if I'm not mistaken, I had that scrap. So it is now PPA who operates the truck scales and we do not charge. And even the terminal operators, hindi po relevant sa kanila yung resulta ng timbang because for RoRo vehicles, we do not charge based on weight. The terminal operators charge based on what we call a RoRo terminal fee, which is a flat rate. So yun po, kumbaga, para pong ako inahalin tulad ko yan sa airport na kapag ikaw ay nag-check-in, tinitimbang yung bagahe mo para alam nung eroplano kung paano niya babalansehin at kung paano niya, kung allowed ka ba for the capacity po nung sasakyan.
Now, this is my second question. Since the truck scale is not important as far as port charges, it is important to determine the weight of the trucks. So, di ba dapat ito mandatory?
Yes, Mr. Chair, dapat po mandatory.
Ngayon, dapat yan mandatory and we have witnesses that testified now na hindi sila dumaan dyan. Now, who is now responsible na in making sure that they all go through the truck scale before boarding the vessel?
Technically po sa proseso, ang dapat pong namamahala nun is the terminal operator. But from our experience, and we have raised that issue so many times in the past, may mga rason not solely attributable to the terminal operator na may mga kinakarga talagang sinasadyang hindi padaanin sa truck scale dahil pag nagkaroon po ng record kung gaano kabigat yung mga bihikulo, makikita na dapat hindi na isakayan. Ang huling-huli po na touch dyan, based on experience, regardless of kung gaano kabigat, meron po yung mga barko na tinatawag na waterline. Pag yan po, waterline na yan, ang nagsasabi po niyan, depende po doon sa mga engineers na nagdidisenyo niyan, kung hanggang saan ang kapasidad ng barko, pag kinargahan mo kung hanggang saan siya lulubog sa tubig. Hindi po dapat lumalampas ang tubig sa waterline na yun. So, more than the weight po, merong visual inspection dyan bago palayagin ang barko na makikita na dapat hindi bumababa sa linyang yon yung barko below the water.
Congressman Chell, you want to address the question to
Yes,
Global Port or because sila yung port operator eh.
Well, just one more question to the PPA. Alam nyo na pala na matagal na nangyayari yan at hindi dumadaan sa weight bridge yung mga cargo. Anong ginagawa ninyo para maayos yun?
Mr. Chair, nire-require po namin yan. In fact, right now po, may way bridge po doon. Pero for one reason or another, and sa amin po, either terminal operator, hindi naman po kasi, sa totoo lang po, and I will be very frank, ang nangyayari po, hindi lamang po naman limitado yan sa Pantalan but all over. Hindi po natin mababantayan talaga yung aktwasyon ng mga individual kung yan ba ay palulusutin o palalampasin nila. Meron po tayong pulisiya, nandyan po ang ekwipo, sinasabihan po namin ng mga tao namin kung ano ang dapat gawin. Pero sa Pantalan po, and I would like to disabuse yung impression, hindi lamang po PPA ang nagpapatakbo ng Pantalan. Nandyan po ang PPA, may pribado pong terminal operator dyan, nandyan po ang Philippine Coast Guard, ang PNP Maritime, ang Marina. So napakarami pong moving parts at moving elements dyan. At kapag nagkaroon po ng pagkakataon na kontsabahan dyan, doon po tayo nagkakaproblema.
Mr. Chair, I
Go
have
ahead.
to disagree very much with that statement. Napakasimple lang at napakamura po yung CCTV camera. Madali lang i-install yan. Pag na-install yan, di malalaman natin kung dumadaan talaga sa weight bridge o hindi yung mga cargo. Anyway, if I may move on, may I know if we have representatives from the Insurance Commission and the insurance companies who covered the ship? Mr. Chair?
Go ahead, introduce yourself, no?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. I'm Brian Gale Tisibuyan from the Insurance Commission.
Do you have the documentation for the insurance coverage of this ship, the MV Tricia?
Sir, unfortunately, we do not gather the insurance policies issued by insurance companies in favor of their clients.
Do we know if there's anyone from the insurance companies who covered or provided the insurance to Allison?
Yes, kindly introduce
Good,
yourself.
good morning po, Mr. Chair and the members of the committee. I'm Eileen Uy po, Executive Vice President and General Manager of Bethel General Insurance. The vessel po was covered under Marina Compulsory Passenger Accident Insurance po issued by Bethel with a period of insurance from February 19, 2025 to February 19, 2026.
Magkano po ang nasa insurance policy as indemnification for passengers kung sakaling may mangyaring ganito?
For accidental death po, per manifested passenger, it's 200,000 po for accidental death. And then for emergency assistance, 50,000 po per passenger.
Unmanifested, yung wala po sa manifest, hindi po covered ng policy
Yung
ninyo yan?
unmanifested passenger po is hindi po talaga siya covered under the Marina PA insurance policy because the requirement is for the manifested passenger. But I would like to inform the committee po that even though the investigation report, there's no final investigation result yet from the Philippine Coast Guard or the Marina. The management po has decided a compassionate assistance assistance po for the unmanifested passenger by paying 50% po of the applicable benefit for manifested
You know,
passenger.
50%.
Yes
Eh,
po.
pinalusot ng Allison na kaya hindi nakalagay sa manifest yun.
Hindi talaga. To the Coast Guard, Mr. Chair, meron po kayong sinubmit dito sa committee ng isang report na nakalagay na ang maximum number of passengers ay dapat 352 lang at ang number of passengers actually na nasa ship per passenger manifest ay 332. Ang tanong ko po ay, base sa inyong investigasyon, ilan ang pasahero na wala sa manifest?
Who can answer that? Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. From the Coast Guard, the report says among the survivors, there were 96 who were unmanifested.
Grabe,
Nice.
ang dami.
From the cadavers, recovered cadavers, 8. Missing, 8. A total of 112.
So if you had 332 passengers based on the manifest and another 96 not on the manifest, lampas-lampas na po yan dahil ang maximum ng ship ay 352 passengers based on the report you submitted to us.
If I may reply.
Head Admiral.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Actually, we sorted out the list and we found out, or the team found out, that there were double entries in the list. So actually, the manifested passenger when cleaned. Okay, we refer the data with SOCO and with the DRRMOs, yung mga double entries po. And those who were identified nung may mga cadavers na recover. Actually, there were only 232.
Ang ibig niyo sabihin, mali yung report ninyo na nakalagay dito na 332 ang pasahero based on the manifest.
That was based on the manifest submitted to the Coast Guard by the master, Your Honor. The vessel, before they depart, are required to submit to the Coast Guard the master's declaration of safe departure. And one of the required documents to be submitted is the manifest. Your Honor, as what was clearly mentioned by the Honorable Congressman Jokno, after the MV Doña Paz, the International Maritime Organization realized that it would be better to address the safety issues of the ships if we focus on the management issue or the safety management issue. Thus, the International Safety Management Code was passed, and the Philippines adopted it locally, by coming up with the National Maritime Safety Management Code. In that code, the responsibility rests on the master and the ship's operator. It is also the founding basis why the Coast Guard only requires the master, because he is the one responsible, to submit to us a master's declaration that the ship is safe, including in that submission is the manifest. So we did the due diligence after the incident, and we have not made this secret, Your Excellency, Your Honor. There is really a prevailing problem in that area, insofar as manifesting of passengers concerned. Scalpels exist. They proliferate for years. Thank you, Your Honor.
I have a question to Attorney Aquino. Based on your experience, marami na rin po kayong nasakyan ng mga barko. How common is the practice of unmanifested passengers?
since I was still a child po, I've been traveling from Tawi-Tawi to Zamboanga and vice versa, no? Nung araw dumadaan pa po, bawat barko nag-stop from Sitangkay, Tawi-Tawi ang pinakadulo, to Bungao, and then to Siasi, Sulu,
Please speak closer to the
to
microphone.
Holo, Sulu, and eventually to Zamboanga City, and vice versa. It has been a practice po for all of the shipping lines, Sampaguita Shipping, Allison Shipping, na nag-i-issue po ng ticket on board the vessel. Nakalayag na po, saka mag-i-issue ng ticket. Yes. So, it is safe to assume that those passengers whose tickets were issued only on board the boat, they were not manifested. Yeah.
Sino po ang nakikinabang sa mga binabayad na mga pasahero na wala sa manifest? Sa pagkaalam ninyo.
Obviously, it's the shipping line. Because probably, if I may, surmise, probably kasi, inaalaw po, kasi if they issue tickets before departure, makikita po ng Philippine Coast Guard and other authorities. So, hindi sila hahayaang lumayag because of overloading. So, that's why the practice of issuing tickets while the boat has already departed has been prevalent ever since. And I'm talking about as early as the 80s. Hanggang ngayon po yan. Hanggang ngayon.
Mr. Chair, mukhang walang nagbabago mula pa nangyari yung trahedyang Doña Paz. Just a few more questions, if I may, Mr.
Attorney
Chair.
Chel, yung survivors, pakitaas lang kamay kung kasama kayo sa manifest. Kasama ba kayo sa manifest? Ilan? So, yung iba, yung hindi kasama sa manifest? Wala. Wala. Okay,
Kaming
thank
mga
you.
truck, wala.
Okay, thank you.
One or-
So wala. Before that, I would like to acknowledge our Vice Chairperson, Congressman Rog Gutierrez.
Just a few more questions, Mr. Chair. Also to Attorney Aquino and the other survivors, makukumpirma ba ninyo yung nabanggit kanina na dadalawa lang po ang lifeboat na nakita sa barko?
Based on the testimony of my fellow survivors po, tatlo po actually and I'd like to correct, it's not a lifeboat, it's a life raft. Kasi yung lifeboat po, may makina po yata, if my understanding is correct. So it's a lifeboat, a life raft. Tatlo po ang napansin ko na nagamit. But according to one of the survivors, yung kanilang life raft, in less than 5 minutes, lumubog po. Something doon sa ilalim, bumigay. So that's why we were suspecting the life raft was a makeshift life raft, hindi siya talaga standard. Probably plywood po siya, kaya nung siguro because of wear and tear, kasi nasa taas po yun ng barko, tinatamaan ng ulan, ng araw, nung lumubog, nasakyan, nabali po siya. Kaya lumubog po yung life raft na yun.
Last question, Mr. Chair. Yung pong mga life vest naman o life jacket, ano ang naobserbahan ng mga survivor? Opo, ma'am. Please identify yourself and answer the question.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Uzaida Ismi, and I am one of the survivor po. And nasa aircon accommodation po kami that time. And yung cabinet po ng life jackets nakalock po. So we had to forcefully open it. And yung nagbukas po nung cabinet nung locker na yun ay one of the passengers po. Siya po yung katabi namin na bedding. Actually ngayon po, nasa Senate po siya. Si Sir Nur Hussein Sali po. And yung yung ibang cabinets po, kinailangan din pong sipain ng ibang passenger para ma-open lang po yung lock. And yung pagkakuha po namin ng life jacket namin, naka-double knot po siya. So you won't be able to use it agad-agad kasi kailangan mo pa siyang buksan. Nakaganon po siya very tightly. And pagka-open po namin ng life jacket, sira po. So we had to, kinailangan po namin gamitin, like we had to be resourceful kung paano namin po ayusin yung life jacket namin. And wala pong mga whistle din at the same time yung life jacket po namin. Mr.
Chair, that is the real tragedy of this incident. And it's It makes me really angry that this happened and it has been allowed to happen. Ang Doña Paz po ay nangyari pa noong 1987. 39 years have passed. Pareho pa rin ang wala nagbago sa sitwasyon. In that particular tragedy, kulang din sila ng life jackets. In that particular tragedy, overloaded ang ship. In that particular tragedy ay yung mga pasaherong wala sa manifest umabot sa halos kalahati ng nakasakay sa barko. From what we investigated, there were only roughly 2,000 plus manifested and more than 2,000 not on the manifest. And yet, up to now, nothing has changed. There has to be accountability for this, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Attorney Chell.